see a casual look on Fridays. I did not see this before. Okay. Wow. I did not know that. Maybe I feel overdressed now. He's like, no, I don't believe in that. I hope none of this is going on air. This is not the most professional. Folks, I'm actually very excited. Probably you can tell from my little excited demeanor. We have been able to achieve something New Democrats have fought for generations. This has been a long dream of New Democrats since Tommy Douglas. We've dreamed of making sure our healthcare system would include medication coverage. And now, pharmacare is the law of the land. It's passed in the Senate. It's got royal assent. And what it's going to mean for people is why we're so excited. But now that it's passed, I want to tell you a bit about the journey of how we got here, a little bit of behind the scenes. This was a fight. Every step of the way, it was a fight with Justin Trudeau and the Liberals. They did not want to do this. And it's not hard to believe. They voted against pharmacare 3.5 years ago when we brought it in, when we tabled the bill with Peter Julian, our House Leader. They voted against it. They have broken promise after promise for 20 years. So it's no surprise that they fought every step of the way. When we put forward this idea, they tried to find ways to wiggle out of it. They delayed. They dragged their feet. They missed deadlines. They proposed draft bills which were completely, utterly insufficient, not good enough. And there were many times when we thought this is going to be it. We're not going to be able to move forward with them. And so we fought hard. We did not relent. We continued, and we were able to push Justin Trudeau and the Liberals to achieve this. But now I've got a message for Justin Trudeau. I'm worried because we know that there's Conservative premiers that don't want to see people in their province get access to free birth control. They don't want to see people get access to free diabetes medication or devices. We know that Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives would cut this. And so this pharmacare that we've achieved is something that could be so amazing, but it's very fragile. It's fragile because of the cuts of Conservatives and that threat of cuts. So my message to Justin Trudeau is you can't delay and drag your feet the way you did to get to this point. You can't fight us at every turn like you did up until this point. Now you got to get to work and meet with provinces and territories and get deals signed. That is the only way that people will actually receive the benefit. That's the only way that people in our country who are living with diabetes can get the medication that they need. It's the only way that women can get access to free birth control is if you sign deals. And so that's going to be our message. And I think about what this could mean to people. And I think about Linda, who I met in Port Moody, a senior who is on a fixed income, retired, has some coverage, and still pays $3,000 out of pocket for her diabetes. She was diagnosed in her 20s, and she figures that this is probably the least she's ever spent out of pocket, $3,000 a year. So for over 40 years of having this illness, she spent over $120,000 just to stay alive. If we can move forward and get provinces to sign deals, that means that a young Linda today won't have to look forward to a lifetime of having to spend money out of pocket to stay alive. She will know that she can get that medication without any worries. That's what the promise of this bill is. And that's why I'm urging Justin Trudeau, you got to get to work now and sign deals with provinces. I'll do that again in French, and then I look forward to your questions. Je suis tellement fier aujourd'hui parce qu'on a accompli quelque chose que des générations des néo-démocrates se sont battus pour réaliser. Maintenant, la science médicament, c'est la loi du pays. Mais et on est tellement fiers parce que cette loi a le potentiel de vraiment changer les vies des gens. Mais la loi est fragile parce qu'on sait qu'il y a des conservateurs qui veulent le couper. Il y a des premiers ministres conservateurs qui ne veulent pas que leur population reçoive ce bénéfice. Et on sait que Pierre Poilievre et les conservateurs, évidemment, ne veulent pas donner des contraceptifs gratuits aux femmes, ne veut pas que les gens qui sont diabètes reçoivent des médicaments gratuits. Ils sont contre ça, ils veulent couper ça. Et je veux partager maintenant, parce que la loi est passée, c'était un processus difficile avec les libéraux. On aurait dû se battre à chaque étape parce que les libéraux étaient contre cette idée. Et c'est clair parce qu'ils ont voté contre cette idée dans le passé. Ils ont brisé des promesses. Donc c'était une bataille. C'était une bataille dure pour réaliser ce projet de loi. Et ma message maintenant pour Justin Trudeau, vous ne pouvez pas continuer avec les blocages comme vous avez fait dans le passé. Vous ne pouvez pas continuer de traîner les pieds comme vous avez fait dans le passé. Maintenant, vous devez travailler immédiatement pour signer les ententes avec les provinces et les territoires pour que les gens puissent réaliser les bénéfices de cette loi. Et ça veut dire que les gens peuvent recevoir des médicaments gratuits. Les femmes peuvent recevoir les contraceptifs gratuits. La seule façon pour réaliser ça, c'est de signer les ententes. Donc, vous devez continuer le travail important maintenant. Merci, and I'm ready for your questions.
How long are you willing to keep the Liberals in power, to keep propping them up so that those deals happen?
Right now, our focus is on this bill is passed. Now we want to see deals signed. So our focus is on forcing this Liberal government to get those deals signed. Like I said before, when it comes to any bill or motion, we will look at it and make a decision what's in the best interest of people. But today, the first day after pharmacare has now been made the law of the land, our focus is on getting deals signed so people can actually get the benefit.
Mr. Poilievre says that.
Just as a follow-up quick, will you commit to the Canadians that need this coverage that this pharmacare is providing, that you will not topple the Liberal government until they have the coverage?
Our focus is making sure people get help. And we want to make sure that people actually get the benefit of this law. And so we are going to now focus on putting pressure on the Liberals to actually sign agreements. We want to see that happen. I want to see people have free medication when it comes to diabetes and free birth control. I want to see that happen.
Mr. Poilievre says that pharmacare is a bad deal for union workers because it will result in the elimination of drug plans negotiated as part of collective agreements. What do you make of that criticism?
Pierre Poilievre is telling on himself that he has no idea what unions actually do. Unions are very much in favor of this. Workers are very much in favor of this because they know that having to negotiate medical benefits that include drug coverage on the negotiating table or at the negotiating table is incredibly costly. They would love to have this taken off of their table, their plate, and use that money for better pay, better wages, or other benefits. They are very much in favor of this. And it shows that Pierre Poilievre has no idea what working people actually care about because unions and labor movement have been demanding universal pharmacare for a long time. So it shows you Pierre Poilievre is not interested in helping out workers. What he is interested in helping out is big pharmaceutical companies who don't want to see universal pharmacare. That's whose side he's on. He's on the side of big corporations. We've seen that again and again. He's on the side of corporate landlords, the side of corporate grocery stores, and in this case, the side of big pharmaceutical companies that don't want people to have access to free medication because it's going to cut into their bottom line.
I have a question for you, Devil. How are you planning on forcing the Liberals into these deals when you said yourself yesterday you're not talking to them? So what tools do you have if you're not talking to them to force them into this?
We're here at a press conference. We're letting people know that this is now signed, and I'm letting the public know that the Liberals dragged their feet on this. Justin Trudeau did not want to do this. It was a fight. It was a battle. Now that the bill is passed, I can tell you, it took everything that we could muster to fight them and fight Justin Trudeau to get to this point. He did not want to move forward on this bill. He did not want to move forward on pharmacare. He did not want to cover medications for people living with diabetes or birth control. He did not want to do any of this. We had to force them to do it. And so now I'm telling a message directly to Justin Trudeau. Don't do the same thing when it comes to negotiations. Like, people need to know this bill is passed, but the only way that someone sitting in Ontario right now, someone in Saskatchewan right now is actually going to benefit from this. Someone in the Atlantic provinces, the only way they're actually going to benefit from this law that's been passed is if Justin Trudeau signs agreements. So I'm letting the public know, and I'm letting Justin Trudeau know, next step has to be signing agreements.
Maintenant que le projet de loi est passé, êtes-vous plus disposé à faire tomber le gouvernement ou vous voudriez attendre de voir concrètement que le programme s'applique?
Maintenant, la journée après le passage de ce projet de loi, ma priorité, c'est maintenant de forcer le gouvernement libéral et Justin Trudeau de signer les ententes avec les provinces et territoires pour que les gens puissent réaliser les bénéfices de cette loi. Ça, c'est maintenant la priorité parce que je veux que les gens aient accès aux médicaments gratuits. Je veux que les femmes aient accès aux contraceptifs gratuits. Et je veux réaliser ça. Ça, c'est ma priorité.
Leverage in Parliament right now.
En français.
Le gouvernement du Québec l'a déjà dit, veulent un droit de retrait, veulent être compensés pour ce programme-là. Alors, ça entre où dans cette signature d'entente-là? Est-ce que c'est partout ailleurs, sauf au Québec, ou c'est vraiment une condition aussi, il faut qu'on signe une entente avec le Québec pour avoir, dans le fond, vos demandes au gouvernement?
Maintenant, c'est les discussions et les négociations avec les provinces. Donc, le gouvernement libéral, Justin Trudeau, doit s'asseoir avec Premier ministre Legault et discuter comment on peut réaliser ça. Ce qu'on propose, c'est vraiment l'idée d'utiliser notre puissance d'achat du pays pour avoir des médicaments gratuits. Et au Québec, les syndicats sont d'accord avec cette idée. Ils acceptent que la meilleure façon pour livrer les médicaments, c'est un programme qui est universel. On mélange la puissance de toutes les provinces et territoires, le gouvernement fédéral, ensemble et acheter les médicaments pour un prix plus bas. Ça, c'est la meilleure façon pour gérer ce programme. Et maintenant, ça, c'est pourquoi j'exige Justin Trudeau et le gouvernement libéral de parler avec les provinces, de discuter, de négocier pour signer les ententes.
You have leverage in Parliament right now. You're the leader of the fourth party. You can still help prop up the government if you wanted to get more extractions of things like additional drugs and pharmacare, but you've chosen not to speak with them right now. Just strategically, can you explain why you're not even negotiating with the Liberals right now to try and get more things out of them?
Well, we're letting Justin Trudeau know right now what we want to see happen. We want to see deals signed. I want to see people get access to free medication when they're living with diabetes. I want to see free birth control happen. So I'm letting Justin Trudeau know right now. I'm letting the government know right now. You dragged your feet to get us to this point. We had to fight you every step of the way. Don't drag your feet when it comes to negotiations. Start negotiating now, and let's get those deals signed.
Is this like an overriding, sorry, exactly my question, is that an overriding confidence measure right now? If you want us to count on our support going forward, you have to sign agreements with the provinces to get this program implemented.
When it comes to confidence zones, we've been very clear. We're going to look at each vote as it comes. But I'm letting people know that right now, after this bill, this historic bill has been passed into law, it is now the law of the land. I want to see these deals signed. So I'm letting Justin Trudeau know. I'm letting the government know. Get the deal signed. Let's make sure people get access to free birth control and free diabetes medication. Merci. Thank you.
If he doesn't sign the deals, will you take him down?